Today we're going to see if this keyboard is actually a strike or more of a knockout. Okay, on the front of the box you can see the keyboard itself, you can see the make and the model, and it tells you a few bits of information on there. So the information on there, it's got N key rollover, which basically means that you can type a lot and it shouldn't miss any of the keystrokes when you type in. It tells you about the multimedia shortcuts as well, which is pretty good. And it also tells you all about the chameleon RGB lighting, multimedia lighting shortcuts, and no software is required. On the back of the box, you've got some multilingual specifications on there. It tells you about the 26 key special matrix, as well as you're protected from liquid spills. It's got 9 kinds of RGB lighting effects and modifiable speed and brightness built in. Okay, so let's have a look at the keyboard itself. First of all, we've got a braided cable on here. This braided cable is 1.6 meters long. One thing to mention is about this keyboard, it's not a brand new model or anything like that. It has been around for a little while, and we actually used to sell those in our retail store when we had a store, and they were very, very popular and never had any returns or problems with them. So it gives you a rough idea what the quality is actually like. But saying that, we're still going to film this and obviously review this as a non-biased way, even though we have actually used these products in the past. Obviously Mad Catz has sent it to us and they want it reviewing. The prices of these now are a lot cheaper than they used to be. They're about half the price. Just have a look online and you'll be able to see what sort of price we are looking at. But the keyboard itself, it's got a membrane basically keyboard, which basically means that the keys might be a little clicky, but they are not as bad as a mechanical keyboard. So it's more of your traditional style keyboard. It has a coating on it to stop spill and all this, that and the other, which again, it's more of a coating than a 100% thing. So you'll probably find if you do a few spills on it, like you spilt your tea or your coffee or a beer or whatever it may be on it, you'll probably find after a while that will actually degrade. So you keep doing it, then you'll find the keys will probably have issues. Now the keys themselves, as you can see, they're all lit up. You can see there, it's got a nice sort of a strobing rainbow effect going across. Now, with this being more of an entry-level value keyboard, there aren't many options you can do on here. So you can't set the whole keyboard as one color. You can't, for example, set certain keys as a specific color and then other ones as a specific color. You've only got the 9 preset color modes. And you do that by holding the function key down on the keyboard, which is there, and then pressing the right arrow here. So just give you an idea. And it'll cycle through a few different options, which is basically a strobing effect of different colors. So you've got a few on there. You can adjust the brightness as well with the holding the function and using it up and down. And there's also an option to adjust the speed of the effects as well if you're wanting to. So don't get me wrong. It may not have all the features like a top-end keyboard has, but it gives you all the basics there. And in all honesty, it's a very good keyboard and feels pretty good. You've also got other options at the top, so your multimedia buttons, you can use those as well. So you've got obviously volume up and down and pause, play and stuff like that, home button. That's if you'll use them. A lot of people never use the multimedia buttons on keyboards anyway. Okay, to the bottom, let's start with the cable. Right, as we mentioned, it's 1.6 meters long. It is braided. Now, you've got 3 ways you can actually have the cable on the keyboard. So you can route it down the middle here, so the cable comes out directly in the center of the back, or you can adjust it to the left or the right through these channels here. You just pull up on the cable and then basically route it through the little gaps what are on there and then through the side or whatever. They are a bit tight, I'll warn you that. So you'll have to give it a little bit of force. But there you go, once it's clipped in, you can have then the cable going to the left or the right side, depending on how you want it. On the bottom, there is plenty of rubber feet. So you've got 2 on the back, and then you've got 3 on the front. And there are 2 feet here as well to adjust the height, if you want to, of the back, so it leans more. And they do have rubber on as well, which means that when you've got it on the table, it shouldn't slide around or anything like that, which it's not here. As you can see, it's pretty much sturdy unless you give it a real good shove. Okay, down to a sound test. So we've got the microphone set at 20 centimeters away from the actual keyboard there. and we've unedited this part of the video so you can sound exactly what it sounds like through the microphone. Right, let's have a quick look. So standard keys. So the spacebar does sound a little bit different. Enter key, shift, and then number keys and F keys. So yeah, so there are slight differences in the way the keyboard sounds. That's generally down to the size of the keys and how they're usually supported, but it gives you a rough idea. It isn't silent by all means, but it's not as loud as most of the mechanical keyboards are out there, and this is just a full typing test just to give you a rough idea. Okay, so in conclusion, if you can get this keyboard for a decent price, and from what I've seen you can, then I would highly recommend it. Don't get me wrong, it's not a top-end gaming keyboard, but it's more of an entry-level or value option. But saying that, for the price, it's very good. And as I said, a few years ago, this keyboard was double the price, if not more. So I would highly recommend you get this keyboard if you're basically just starting out into gaming. You don't need anything special or anything along that lines, and as long as you don't need any software. So again, I do highly recommend this keyboard. If this keyboard didn't strike you as the one you actually want, why not click this box up here and view some other keyboards and mice we've reviewed in the past. Otherwise, if you want to see more Mad Cat reviews, well, click this box down here, the one just there. Otherwise, just give us a good thumbs up, comment below, you know the drill, and we'll see you next time.